Hey everyone, my name's Martha, coming from my kitchen to yours with some of my best recipes and meals. Enjoy! Well, tonight we are cooking risotto, mushroom risotto. Quite sweet. It's gonna be stellar. We start with heating some oil in a pan, and then we are gonna add in our onion. That's one whole onion in there, and wait for that to soften. Right, so we have got our onions frying in the pan, and to that we are gonna add a good helping of garlic puree. You can use fresh garlic, but I'm lazy, so here we go. Good dollop of that. That's about one clove, I don't really know. Garlic's just amazing. Right, so we are softening those onions. You want it on about medium-high heat. Right, so now onions are nice and soft. We're going to add in our mushrooms. There they go, lots of mushrooms, whether they shrink and reduce. I'm breaking all the rules and overcrowding the pan, but there we go. Look at all their mushrooms. If you don't have mushrooms, this is not a very good dish for you. Don't try this one at home. But you can also do risotto with butternut squash. That's my favourite second choice. Roast some butternut squash, or you can fry it, add it in. Risottos do take a while, but they're definitely one of those things that the more love you give it, the better they turn out. Right, so these are going to take a while now. Juice. I might just add in some butter as well, it often adds to the texture and the taste. Butter improves anything, let's add that in. Right, and around this time too, I'm going to add in my thyme. Now, we actually have thyme plants on our balcony, which was a good investment for this sort of thing. But if you don't have it, you can get dried thyme that you can give a good shake in. I just like the feeling of chucking in fresh leaves to my dinner. Just get into it now. So now those mushrooms have browned and softened, we are now going to turn up the heat a little bit to get ready for our next step. And then what you want to do is you want to add in your rice. I just guessed with the rice, which is always a bit of a risk. I think it's supposed to be about 80 grams a person for risotto, maybe a bit more. In it goes. So this is special risotto rice. And what you're doing is you're going to put this in before you put any of the sauce in, because you want to toast the risotto. I don't really know why, you just do. Something out of the pan. And you want to, I think it's because you want to get the rice coated in all the juices of the mushrooms before you add in the mushroom stock. And you want to get the heat turned up nice and high, because the next stage is to add in the wine, and you want the wine to boil off quite quickly. So hopefully when I add this in a minute, there's going to be a bit of a sizzle going on. You can use any white wine, and then you get to drink it with your dinner as well, if you have to open a new bottle. Right, this risotto rice is nicely toasted. It's been in there a couple of minutes, it's ready for the wine. So you get about 100 mils of wine, you toss it in, you get a nice sizzle when it goes in, and it should immediately bubble straight away. If you can see that, I don't know. Straight away. So now it's looking nice and textured. So you're going to wait till that wine boils off. And now the next step depends on what options you've taken. I use porcini mushrooms, which are a bit more snazzy. I've actually never used them before until this evening. And you buy them dried and you revive them, reduce them, I don't know, you put boiling water in them to bring them back to make them not dried. And then you can use that water that you've poured over them to add into the risotto. If you haven't done that, and you can just use normal mushrooms, it's less flavoursome, but it's still pretty great. You can just use stock instead. So I'm gonna start with the mushroom juice, which I've got here from the porcini mushrooms, and then I'm gonna probably make up. You want about 1 litre of water probably in this, maybe a bit less. So I'll probably make up some stock afterwards. We will see. Okay, so that wine is all boiled away now. Now, the trick to a good risotto is to add the water as slowly as possible, or the liquid as slowly as possible. Something to do with the risotto losing its starch, but it also makes it creamier. So they say a ladle full at a time. I don't use a ladle, I just pour it out of the jug and see how we go. So I'm gonna add in a ladle full of this water and wait till that's all boiled off. And I'm going to keep doing that until the water is all gone. It's probably going to take about 25 minutes to do this. Okay, so we have added about 80 millilitres of liquid stuff, 40 millilitres left over from the mushrooms and 40 that I made up of stock. And it is now looking a good texture, nice and creamy. Oh, it smells amazing. And so the final touch, just before we finish off, you can turn the heat off, and then I'm going to add the most amazing cheese, Parma reggiano, which Parmesan is the English version of it. But honestly, this cheese, I used to only ever have it on like meatballs as a kid. But when I went to Italy, I realised that they just put it in everything, and it just like adds extra yumminess to most dishes. So obviously you can have it on pasta, but you can put it in risotto and then on top of the risotto once you serve it to make it look nice, which is what I tend to do. But I also like to snack on it along the way. So I'm gonna grate this Parma reggiano just till I feel like it's got enough in it, just to add a bit more yumminess to this already yummy risotto. If you don't have Parma reggiano, if you have Parmesan, that's the same thing, that works. You could also probably use Emmental, because this is quite a nutty dish. It goes well with Emmental on top, but I wouldn't add it to the risotto because Emmental quickly loses its taste, whereas this you can taste it when it's in. So I've added about that much Parma reggiano, no idea how much that is in grams. We'll just add an extra bit of creaminess to this. Oh, this is looking amazing. Now that did take 25 minutes, so this recipe takes about, well, if you are going to soak porcini mushrooms, that takes 20 minutes, so it adds an extra 20 minutes, well, you've got to remember to do that. But overall it takes about 40 minutes. It's not too bad for an extra yummy risotto. Okay, so now I'm going to serve this up and I'll show you how it looks when it's served. Okay, so here we have our beautiful mushroom risotto for dinner. Yum.